What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I pray y'all are all having a wonderful, blessed weekend as we, of course, give the Most High Yah all the honor, glory, and all the praise and worship. My title now says A History Lesson with JT. This is a little history lesson. I know to some people this video may sound racist, but that's not what I'm doing in this video. I'm going to bring out truth. I got a great email. Let me give a shout out to you, brother LaShawn. You had a great question. You said, JT, if we are Hebrew, why don't we speak Hebrew? Why don't we speak Hebrew? If we are chosen, it's not a fact of if, it's we are. This is who we are. We are chosen. Then why we don't speak the language of what we supposed to speak? And brother, I want to give you another shot and say that is a very, very great question. Now I'm going to say some things off top in this video. Once again, it's not going to sit well. Let me just say it like this. It may not sit well with the Caucasian, or you can say the white person, you know. But even in my race of people, it may not sit well because some of us will never come out of stupidity. And some of us will never come out of ignorance, you know. And then we know that we have different tribes. You know, we explained it in another video. But we got to look at Brother LaShawn and what the enemy has done. I did a video called Our Identity Was Stolen From Us. And I was explaining in that video, when you steal somebody's identity, then they don't know who or what they are. And you can pretty much just tell them anything and they will accept it. But not only was it our identity, brother, it was our language. It was stripped from us. Our names was taken. As a matter of fact, the culture. They didn't want us. It's the reason why they never wanted us to know how to read, because they knew the power that was in reading and studying, and if we would ever find out who we are, just like we have done anyway, no matter how hard they tried to keep it from us, we figured it out. They didn't want us to know how to read. They didn't want us to know how to write. They put us through slavery. We was beaten. We was hung on trees. We was watered down with the water hoses from the police, beaten by the police. They let the dogs attack us. I mean, you name it, it happened. They tried their best to take away our history. That's why, once again, most of us don't know who we are, and we don't know what we are. They even gave us their last names. See, this is real history right here. They wasn't going to teach us that in school. You know why? Because they wanted to keep us brainwashed on white America, white history. They brainwashed us with they God, they religion, they white Jesus, they white angels, they white movies. They wanted us to see everything in white. And right now, this is why it's so hard for my people to change their mindset and renew their mind, because they still are brainwashed on what was taught to us. And then they turned around and gave us this thing I can't stand the most, called Black History Month. Then you're going to try to teach me my history and sum it up in 1 month. And then the sad thing is, most of us keep talking about civil rights and crying out to we talking about NAACP, we talking about let's go march again. Let's keep protesting. Let's keep voting. Let's keep trying to get equal. Equal to what? Why are you steady trying to get equal to a devil, a satanic system that you never supposed to have been equal with in the first place? You supposed to live against the devil system. But we was never taught that. We supposed to have been following the ways of Yahweh. But most of us don't even know how to do that, because we don't even know who and what God is. Teach, Holy Spirit. And I'm talking about the Most High. I ain't talking about the God of this world, which is Satan. Let me tell you something. Brother, if we really know who we was, what we was, Boy, the way we will be blessed and living right now, can nobody stop it. You think you blessed now, you would be so blessed. If we knew each other and who we was, we wouldn't have never done all this killing to each other. We wouldn't have never let, as you say in your letter, the so-called white man use all these things that we do to hurt each other with. That's why I did that video about gangster rap. It's a weapon. That's why you hear me talk about the prison, the penitentiary. It's business. War is business. Religion is business. They use all that to keep their little strategy going, whether you want to say amen or not. Because you got to look at who owns what. Look at who owns the media. Look at what the media is always promoting. Fear and what? Lies. So you're still trying to get equal with this satanic system, but if you know who you are, you live against this system, and you walk in the ways of Yahweh, then you're going to still have trials and tribulations, but your life will be blessed tremendously. It's benefits in serving the Most High. So now I said all this to go back to your question. Now you should understand why you speak English. But English was not our language. Oh, we had to be taught that from who? Uh-oh. Come on now. See, I'm not trying to sound racist in this video, y'all. I don't have no problem with color. Some colors always had a problem with us. But let me tell you this, brother. If you put me in slavery for 300 years, and you won't let me read, and if you find out I done picked up a book, you torture me if you don't kill me. But once again, your objective is to never let me find out how to read and pick up a book. Then you can tell me all kind of stuff. I'm already up under you doing what you say. You got me in slavery. Then I see you reading your Bible, praying to your white Jesus. And if I ain't been taught nothing different, then after a while, I'm going to start adapting into that, right? Then you come out with all these slave movies that's going to keep you bondaged and locked up in your mind to teach you only what they wanted you to see. They didn't want you to see a successful black person, if you want to use the term black, which I care less for. I remember that Old Testament movie that I always played with Moses and what color they was. They never put color in there, except when that Jesus Christ Superstar movie came out back in 1979. Great friend of mine, Minister Thomas Robinson, showed me that years ago. Never even heard of that movie till he brought it to my attention. And they put the color of us in that movie, which made a lot of people mad. But any other movie you see, it's always the Caucasian. See, my point is, brother, if you train somebody long enough on lies, eventually after a while, since they have no other thing they can see, they're going to believe those lies. You see what I'm talking about? See, our race, and I'm not saying this to put down any other race. I'm not talking against any other race. I'm speaking facts on us. That's why we speak so different. Our actions is different. Our creativity is so powerful. Matter of fact, let me use the term Ebonics. We speak Ebonics. Now, let me do a little bit more teaching here. See, they didn't teach us this in school. We speak Ebonics. The word, what do you think? Okay, when you look at the word ebony, we already know, you see it in magazines. And it's always tied in with what? Our color, our race. The word Ebonics come from the word ebony. So many mothers, they name their daughter Ebony, which is a beautiful name, because ebony means black. And the word phonics, which means sounds. See, but the problem is, Brother LaShawn, we accepted black man. They told us that's what we were, and we accepted that without even thinking about it, because we already had our identity stole. So, hey, black man, that's not what we are. Black is a color, not a race. Just like they're saying, hey, Christians, and you accepted Christian by what happened at Antioch in the Bible. The Bible ain't never told you to call yourself a Christian. Christ didn't use the term Christian, nor did he call his followers Christian. You catch what I'm saying? Here come them Christians. It's just like somebody calling me nigga, and I accept nigga. I don't accept that. I want to know who I am and what I am, who I serve and what I serve. There ain't nothing wrong with calling yourself Christian if that's what you want to do. Y'all know how I teach that. But the Bible never told you to call yourself Christian. The Bible say don't be ashamed to suffer as a Christian. It ain't about Christian and Christianity. It's about be ye holy for I am holy. Being a true believer, being set apart and following Yahweh. Doing the will of the Father. You can call yourself whatever you want. That's not going to put you into heaven. These things have to be taught. White people back in the 19th century, they called us ebony way back then. But once again, they knew our identity, my brother. But they used it against us because we didn't know. So then the white people started creating names for us. And if you just happen to be white looking at this video, I love you. I ain't mad at you. I love you. I'm not one of those brothers that's walking around talking about the white man isn't the no. I'm an educated brother. I study. Worst thing y'all could have did was gave me a book. Because now you done gave me the weapon to find out everything I need to know, which I've already been tapping into this stuff years and years and years. And I'm going to keep tapping into it. But they created names for us. And the reason why they created these names is so they could describe us to the other slave owners that they had. You ever heard somebody say, you know what, you got a last name like a white person? Who names y'all that? You must got somebody white in your family. Where y'all get that from? That's what happened. They named us. We took on their names. But they used our women to take care of their children. They used our women to have sex with. Y'all remember that video I did? I said they always put us down, called us monkeys and dirty and filthy and all those crazy names, but we wasn't too dirty because they was having sex with our women. We wasn't too messed up because you used that same one you talking about because the color of her skin to raise your children. You used us to build everything because the creativity of us. They just go to show you how stupid that is and how powerful that we are. Not to down and discredit no other race. I'm focusing on us in this video right here because this means a lot to me. Just like I did that video, what was that, a couple of weeks ago, I was telling y'all how we created so much stuff, that you got in your house right now, but they tried to take the credit on it. We have to understand who we are, what we are. Brother, I was reading your part in your email when you was talking about those slave songs. I did a video about that also a few years back. I said that those was warnings. Let's just say Harriet Tubman. Those were codes in them songs. Those was warnings, and they was telling each other what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Let you know the slave owners was coming. Harriet Tubman used the song "Wade in the Water." That song was codes, and it was telling the slaves that was getting away, hey, get off that rail and jump into some water. That way those dogs that's coming behind you can't sniff out your scent. You'll confuse them while you in church singing "Wade in the Water" trying to make somebody shout off of it. They use that to warn each other. Now, they did not, let me go back to your question, brother. how it was back then. They did not speak English. They only spoke Igbo, let's say Hebrew, and Aramaic. So where did this English come from? Glad you want to know. Well, why is it all us now, all we do, we speak English? Well, English is the native language of the Caucasians. From where? England. I'm going to say something off the wall here. Now just catch what I'm saying. Because I said all that to answer your question at the end of this video, really. No black person on earth had ever spoke this language prior to the 15th century unless, now catch what I'm saying, unless they was a slave living in Europe and they picked up on it from those slave owners. Because our ancestors was shipped to North America back in 1619. So they had already been slaves in South America and the West Indies for over, we could say, 100 years. That time, when you had the slave on the islands, that's when they first heard the English language and what it sounded like. So then that's when they started picking up on it. That's why if you look at some of them old movies, them old swole brothers, man, they used to think they was dumb or they was talking and they didn't understand what they were saying. Because it never was about English. Just like it never was about the word black. Black man. Black, once again, is a color, not a race. Well, JT, why the African and the black man seem like they don't never get along? They're different tribes. Let me ask y'all a question, and I'm going to close with this. Is every black man from Africa? And keep this in mind, Africa is not a country, it's a continent. Why don't so many African Americans get along with what you quote unquote call black? But brother LaShawn, I hope this answers your question about the language. You know, see, we was brainwashed in school. They only taught us, they did the same thing when all of us went to school, the same thing they did to our ancestors, which was to keep us blinded. Don't want you to know who you are. So if you teach me white history, or you teach me something like Thanksgiving that's coming up a couple of weeks from now, which is it's just a big old lie. What really happened on Thanksgiving, and I'm going to say this as I close, Thanksgiving that they teach you in school is a joke. You can say what you want about the Pilgrims, the turkey and all that, but you think about your Indian brothers. Big shout out to our Indian brothers. This is not going to be a good time for them in a couple of weeks. This is a time where they're going to mourn and reflect back on what happened. When the Europeans did what? Killed them, raped them, beheaded them, tortured them, stole the land from them, and then told them, then turned around and said, thank you God for this land. So while most people sitting around getting plumped and eating turkey and giving thanks, they're going to be crying and mourning. Think about that. See, we ain't the only ones that went through something. I always think about the Indians. It's going to be some tears. It's going to be some crying out because of what was done to the Indians also. It's a sad time that we're living in. But what they teach us about Christopher Columbus, oh, he sailed and oh, this and that, and America Vespucci and that. Man, don't nobody want to hear all that no more. Once you start learning the real, as me and my beautiful sister Janice said at work, my people will perish for the lack of knowledge. Pick up you a book, please. Pick up some books and learn something, because there's power in studying. I love you. Y'all take care and have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed weekend. Shalom.